You've seen bad drinks on bar rescue, but nothing compares to these Bloody Mary disasters. It all started with one bar owner proudly serving a Bloody Mary so foul that she thinks she knows it all.
It's gonna have some bite.
It's gonna have some bite, and you know what? Instead of making the drink correctly, she's just adding to it.
Then came the bar that served a Bloody Mary with floaters, and we don't mean garnishes.
Is that a Brussels sprout?
I'm not sure.
Is this a mushroom? Or it's a mushroom potato?
Brussels sprout and an olive.
One sip, and Taffer was ready to flip the whole bar. Another spot, they used an old tomato mix, like visibly curdled, and called it their signature.
When you went to the restroom.
And just when you thought it couldn't get worse, one bar didn't have the cocktails menu. Why is it even existing?
I do have a full bar, but I don't have like an actual cocktail menu.
Even Taffer couldn't find the words. But the ultimate Bloody Mary disaster, the one that left Taffer speechless and nearly ended the rescue right then and there.
Cheers. This tastes really sour. What's wrong with it?
Tastes like a hot dog. With extra ketchup.
That whole Bloody Mary ride was a wild, chaotic mess, spinning out of control from the very start.
Blend his Bloody Mary.
So let's get straight into the video. Okay, so picture this. You walk into a bar, you're just looking for a good time, maybe a classic cocktail to unwind. Nothing fancy, right? But then things start to go downhill real fast. You walk up to the bar and ask for a cocktail, and guess what shows up?
Cocktail menu? No, we don't.
Yes, they don't have that. Alright, no big deal. Maybe they're just out of ingredients. So you try again.
Can you make mojito?
Don't have mint. Oh, we don't have mint.
They don't have mint, okay? Strike two. That's odd for a bar, but hey, maybe it's just a busy night. You figure, fine. Let's just go for the basics. Can't mess that up, right? So you ask for a Bloody Mary.
Bloody Mary?
Fighting chance?
What is she making?
Those are his Recons.
And this is where it starts to get truly disturbing.
It has been 15 years since I've made
All right, thank you.
You hear something. It's not the sound of a cocktail shaker or ice being poured. It's something weird, wet, and honestly, scary. What the hell are they doing back there? This isn't bartending. This is some Frankenstein-level horror show. But hey, it's testing time.
Straw?
You're handed the drink, you bring it to your lips, and yep, that's exactly what it tastes like. A dumpster fire in a glass? Amazing, right? Absolutely not. But you have to laugh at the absurdity of it. You start to wonder, is this even safe? You've got tomato juice from who knows when, garnishes that look like they've aged a century, and a bar staff that seems to be winging it all the way. Let's see what more happens here.
Strong. Very strong. My God.
Can you succeed like that?
Just when you think it can't get worse, it does. But wait, you need to hear this.
Thank you.
Didn't blend his Bloody Mary.
You hear someone say something so sad, so brutally honest, it sticks with you. How does a bar even get to this point? How do you run out of mint, cocktails, and oh yeah, sanity? How sad is that? You're not even mad anymore, you're just heartbroken. Because some poor souls are gonna have to put their taste buds on the line for this catastrophe. Well, all the best for the poor ones who are gonna test this.
It's got kind of a tomato bisque quality to it.
You just hope they survive the Bloody Mary of doom and live to tell the tale. This isn't just a failed drink, this is a warning to all bars out there. If you're serving something this bad, you're not just losing customers, you're making enemies. So next time you walk into a bar, maybe ask for a bottle of water first, and pray they haven't messed that up too. Just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, they said, hold my Bloody Mary. When you're out at a bar, there are times you're up for experimenting, trying out the bartender's special, giving the weirdly named shots a go, or sipping something you can't even pronounce. But then, there are those days when you just want to play it safe. You know exactly what you want and how you want it. A classic, no-nonsense drink. Something reliable. So when you order a Bloody Mary, you're expecting a well-balanced, savory cocktail, peppery, tangy, and refreshing.
What can I get for you guys?
I really like Mai Tais.
Gotta try the Bloody Mary.
That's when this whole thing starts going downhill. Because what happens next is nothing short of a disaster in a glass.
Where are you into? Hello!
It's gonna hang out for a day or two.
That's cool.
You know how sometimes you can just tell something is going to taste awful just by looking at it? Yeah, that's exactly what this was. There was absolutely no finesse, no balance, just a chaotic mess of tomato juice and whatever other nonsense they dumped into that shaker.
What's wrong with it?
Tastes like a hot dog. With extra ketchup.
I would never have tasted it if I saw it. And honestly, same. If this had landed in front of me, I wouldn't have gone near it. It's like one of those science experiments that should have stayed in a high school lab and never seen the inside of a bar. Then comes the taste test moment. And hold on, because this part gets wild. Hot dog? I mean, you're telling me that your Bloody Mary tastes like hot dog? What kind of messed up culinary sorcery is that? A Bloody Mary that tastes like a hot dog, and not just any hot dog, but one slathered in extra ketchup. Huh, this is so gross. At this point, it stops being funny and just becomes disturbing. Who is letting this happen behind a bar?
This tastes really sour.
The reaction from the Recon team said it all. There was no poker face, no diplomatic sipping, just raw, honest disgust. You could see their expressions change the second that abomination hit their tongues. Yes, the other Recon said it's sour. So now, on top of hot dog vibes, the drink is sour. It's like someone went out of their way to sabotage this cocktail. How do you even get a Bloody Mary to go sour? It's practically tomato juice and vodka.
I think he's basically got a straw in a ketchup bottle right now.
It's one thing to flub a complicated cocktail with 15 ingredients and smoke infusion, but to mess up a basic Bloody Mary to the point where it tastes like a ketchup-drenched hot dog? That's next level incompetence. And you can't help but feel bad, not just for the customers, but even for the staff who have clearly not been trained properly. A drink like this shouldn't make it past the bar, let alone end up on national TV. Anyway, brace yourself, we're not done yet. Here comes the next disaster.
I do have a full bar, but I don't have like an actual cocktail menu.
You have a full bar. Do you have any cocktail menu? Favorite cocktail?
You sit down, hoping for a classic cocktail, maybe a signature drink, something that reflects the bar's character. But no menu in sight. And sure, they've got a full bar, bottles lined up like soldiers, but it means nothing if no one knows how to use them. This is so, sad, when you walk into a bar. You want atmosphere, comfort, a place where someone behind the counter actually cares. But this feels like the soul of the bar checked out a long time ago. And when you don't have a menu, guess what you can go for?
I'll do a Bloody Mary.
Bloody
please.
Mary,
Yeah.
do you want it spicy or
Yes,
regular?
I'll do spicy, sure.
Okay, sure.
I'll do a Paloma.
You lean into something simple but classic, and then you hear it.
You think?
It's not that good. It's like very sour for some reason.
What you hear, it's not the sound of ingredients being shaken or a celery stalk being chopped. It's not the clink of ice or the swirl of Worcestershire. It's a bottle squirt. That telltale sound of defeat. You're halfway down a path you can't turn back from, and it smells like celery salt and disappointment. But what you're about to see next is shocking.
Definitely not homemade, that's for sure. Right. It's like pre-mix a mile away.
A premix? The bartender doesn't mix the tomato juice, horseradish, or spices. No care, no balance, just a glug from a store-bought jug. The disappointment is real.
Like, yuck. It's a glass of yuck.
Crappy lime, too.
Yeah.
You look around and everyone feels it. The producers, the patrons, even the bar rescue team. This isn't just a bad cocktail, it's a symbol of how far the bar has fallen. No garnish, no rim, no effort. Just red regret and maybe a limp olive. Now, we've seen plenty of fails. Sticky counters, clueless owners, health code violations. But there's something especially disheartening about a bar that can't make a basic Bloody Mary. Because when a place doesn't even try, what's left? This moment, this Bloody Mary isn't just a drink, it's the turning point. It's when John Taffer's eyes narrow and you know the yelling is coming. And it should, because if you're serving that, you deserve every ounce of fire he's about to throw your way. You'd think that'd be the worst of it, but no. Bar rescue never stops at just one catastrophe. Every bar rescue fan knows that when John Taffer walks into a bar and winces before he even tries the drink, it's about to go downhill, fast. But nothing could prepare us for the revolting Bloody Mary served up in this episode. So bad, so tragic, and so unforgettable that they deserve their own highlight reel. Buckle in as we dive into the grossest Bloody Marys ever featured on Bar Rescue. It all starts with the Recon team, those brave souls who sacrificed their taste buds in the name of truth. This bar was so gross and pathetic that the Recon had to order this.
We're gonna get through those Bloody Marys.
Okay.
After a bad experience with other drinks on the menu, it seemed impossible anything else could top that low. And yet, this Bloody Mary defied expectations in the worst way. If you thought drinking it was bad, wait till you see how they're making it. The behind-the-scenes prep is a stomach turner. Food safety violations, grimy surfaces, and what looks like a bottle of expired tomato mix that's been sitting out since the last presidential administration. You have to see how they are making it.
So she used the tongs that fell out of the tongs onto the dirty surface.
And she'd even wipe the surface.
Now she has her fingers on the inside of the cups, touching.
There's no method, no pride, just a chaotic dump of ingredients that looks more like a crime scene than cocktail prep. And the final product?
It's disgusting.
Whoa, man, that's like the kitchen sink in there.
A glass of pure regret. The color is off, the garnishes look wilted, and it's got a strange separation like oil floating in water. Yes, I can see it looks very appetizing if you enjoy sipping warm ketchup through a celery stick. To be honest, I would have vomited. You don't need to taste it to know your stomach will pay for it later, and what happens next is just horrible.
When you went to the restroom. You got a cook in the back.
The drink is served, sipped, and swiftly judged. There's no saving this mess. Yes, these drinks deserve that. Whether they're dumped in the sink or dramatically slammed down on the counter, their fate is sealed the moment they leave the bar. And what about Taffer? He's seen a lot in his years, bars with broken coolers, bartenders who can't pour a shot, but this made him say something. And not just anything, he dropped a line that summed up the entire experience with perfect disgust.
This might be the worst bar I've ever seen in my life. Okay.
We won't spoil the exact quote here, but let's just say it involved the word disgrace, and a stare that could curdle milk. In the end, these weren't just bad Bloody Marys. They were a cocktail catastrophe, an insult to brunch menus everywhere. If there were an award for most likely to induce regret, this bar would win hands down. And just when you thought your taste buds had suffered enough, here comes a bigger disappointment. So this bar claims to know it all when it comes to Bloody Marys. Like, really? They've crowned themselves the bloody royalty of this cocktail game. Because of course, come on, they've won the People's Choice Best Bloody Mary Award. I mean, it's safe to assume this is the gold standard of tomato juice and vodka, right? Well, not so fast.
In 19, I went to compete in a Bloody Mary festival that travels around the United States. And lo and behold, I came home with the People's Choice Award.
You must be wondering why this bar ended up on our infamous list of grossest Bloody Marys in Bar Rescue. I mean, on paper, it sounds promising. But here's your first red flag. They brag about the award before they even bring you the drink, like they expect you to be floored by the hype. Spoiler alert, you're about to find out exactly why they're here, and trust me, it's not for any kind of excellence.
Recipe for it is a store-bought bottle. I'm actually embarrassed to make them.
Sounds funny, right? Almost like a joke. Except, sadly, this drink is real, and someone actually paid for it.
For over 30 years, John Tapper has traveled the country, saving hundreds of bars from failure and ruin.
Let's talk about the drink itself. This thing comes out looking like a tragic salad trying to be a cocktail.
I thought that the Bloody Mary had a bunch of stuff on it.
You can get it with a grilled cheese also, but that's a different
oh yeah, she's
Bloody
paying.
Mary.
Oh, okay.
There's wilted celery leaning sideways like it gave up halfway, bacon that's more chewy than crispy, and a shrimp, yes, a lone cold shrimp, just sadly hanging off the rim like it missed its Uber back to the sea. The tomato mix? Warm, bland, and spiced like someone coughed pepper into it from across the room. Truly an insult to Bloody Marys everywhere.
So the drink will be done by the time that grilled cheese comes out.
And she missed an opportunity, Brad, to upsell with the grilled cheese, right?
Are you looking at this kitchen situation?
Here's the reaction, stunned silence followed by an involuntary wince. My face contorted like it had been personally betrayed. A drink shouldn't make you question your life choices, but here we are.
It's very dark. Ooh, that's thick.
And oh, the owner is here. You'd think they'd be apologetic or even curious about the feedback. But no, zero concern, zero effort. Just a shrug and a, that's how we've always done it. That's not tradition, that's stubbornness disguised as pride. Honestly, not at all good.
Does it taste good at least?
No. It's a little bit thick.
Bottom line, this bar may have fooled a crowd into handing them a People's Choice Award, but that title didn't age well. Somewhere along the way, quality took a back seat and gimmicks took the wheel. The Bloody Mary here is less a cocktail and more a cautionary tale. If you're hunting for the best, look elsewhere, unless you want a sip of regret with a celery stick on top. But this next bar made even the Recons look like they were questioning their life choices. First, you need to see this Bloody Mary in the making.
Bloody Mary's coming with hot sauce in them, right?
Yeah, that's the best. Is that a pre-miss?
It starts off like a typical bar rescue moment. You're expecting a rough drink, maybe even a sloppy mix. But this is on another level. The moment she picks up the ingredients, you already know things are about to go downhill fast.
I'm about to hook you up.
You're not the only one gagging. This concoction looks like it was thrown together during a nightmare. She starts with tomato juice, sure, but then she starts adding ingredients like she's just blindly guessing. No measuring, no tasting, no plan. There's a limp celery stalk hanging on for dear life, what looks like pickles that came from a gas station jar, and an olive that might have seen better days during the Clinton administration. I mean, this is so gross.
I'm about to hook you up.
And she's just winging it without even knowing what she's doing. There's panic in the air, and not just from the viewers. Taffer's in the background, arms crossed, staring in absolute disbelief. The expert mixologist looks like he's physically holding himself back from jumping over the bar and stopping her mid-pour. It's the kind of cocktail creation that makes you question everything: what's in it, who's drinking it, and why this bar is still open.
It's gonna have some bite.
It's gonna have some bite, and you know what? Instead of making the drink correctly, she's just adding to it.
I mean, come on. You have to see the look on his face.
Oh, what a look on his face.
What it tastes like.
It's the perfect storm of horror and hopelessness. You can practically hear him screaming inside his head. Even the bartender looks like she knows it's a disaster, but she's committed. She tops it off with something red and mysterious. Was that hot sauce or ketchup? We may never know. And the taste?
Not it.
You're bracing for the gag. You're expecting the expert to spit it out, or maybe Taffer to flip a table, but plot twist. Somehow, by some cursed miracle, it actually tastes okay. But the road to get there? A total car crash of technique, hygiene, and visual trauma. And that's why it easily earns its place on the list of the grossest Bloody Marys in Bar Rescue. And that's it for the grossest Bloody Marys on Bar Rescue. Now, before you move on, don't forget to share your worst drink ever and how it made you feel in the comments.